Self-bullying is one who constantly puts himself down or has very low self-esteem. Self-bullying can include putting yourself down on your physical appearance, on your intellectual ability, feeling like you're not good enough to get a certain grade or have the friends that you do, and just putting yourself down in general.
Some examples of self-bullying include talking negatively towards yourself. So this could be, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy of having good friends, I'm not allowed to be in a relationship with someone that loves me, I need to be skinny. Some examples of how I bully myself can be, I'm not good enough to get a good grade, I'm gonna fail in the future because something might go wrong, I don't feel comfortable in my own body, which then puts me down about how I feel and has an effect on the attitudes I have towards other relationships within my life.
Often these self-bullying thoughts are quite irrational. It could be like, I just failed an exam and this is going to affect my whole life. It could be that I just lost a friendship group and I'm never going to have friends again. It's often quite irrational and just it doesn't make sense. Often these self-bullying thoughts are quite irrational and it means you're your own worst critic. It can include having hip dips on your body, which is completely normal and it's a biological function. It's just the way that your skeleton is made for females and the way that your fat is distributed. And the point is that it's completely irrational and nobody's looking at your hip dips. It's also really important in self-bullying thoughts that your physical appearance is the least important thing about you. People want to know your dreams and your passions and things that actually are important in real life.
You're often your own worst critic, and the little things you think about, whether that be your hip dips, your nose, your ears, your mouth, whatever it may be, just remember that most people genuinely won't notice it, and it's only you.
Also, beauty is very subjective. What's ugly to you can be very, very attractive and beautiful to somebody else. In terms of grades, even though you didn't get a top grade, maybe in your last exam or continuously, it doesn't mean you're less intelligent than the person that achieves top grades. You actually never truly lose, or you never truly fail. You either learn from it or you succeed, and if you are learning from it, you're actually succeeding in itself because you can learn from it and develop it and actually get the grade that you wanted for your next exam.
I think guys bully themselves generally about their body and how they look. I think for a lot of guys it's important, obviously, to keep themselves healthy, but also to have that stereotype of being ripped, having a six-pack, being muscular, and most of the time, even though that's a nice thing, it's not necessary. And most people generally are going to accept you either way. You don't have to have a six-pack to be worthy.
We all suffer from that sometimes. Self-criticism, really. So a perception of yourself as failing. Yeah, it's not much fun. I can remember thinking, working out quite some time ago, that actually I quite liked myself. This will sound big-headed, but it's not. I promise, it's not. So you can think of lots of things that you've done that you might be regretful of. You might think that you're overweight, or you might think that you're not as good looking as you wish you were, and your ears are too big, or your nose is too big, and your eyes are too small. I always used to think my eyes were too small, but then you think you have to be honest with yourself and think, actually, you know, have I got decent friends? Yes, I've probably got really good. I've got the best friends in the world. And have I got a roof over my head? Yes, I've got a roof over my head. Do I quite like my life on balance? Actually, yes. And do I quite like myself? Yes. So it's pointless, therefore, being regretful of things you might have done or things that you hadn't done, because you can only ever live in the moment. And if you quite like yourself, then that'll do. There's no point worrying about yesterday, or it's certainly no point worrying about tomorrow. You can only ever live right now, in the moment. And if you're reasonably happy with where you are in the moment, then that'll do. Did I overcome it? I didn't. I still got small eyes. I've still got tiny eyes on quite a big, fat old face. But I can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
You can't do anything about it. You just go, well, that's me. That's what I look like. That's what my dad looked like. So that's fairly you know, it was going to be what I looked like. Look in the mirror, look at how beautiful you really are, and look at how you do not need somebody else telling you how to look.
I think you have to realise with negative self-talk and self-bullying, with social media, it's selling a product, it's selling a beauty standard, an ideal image of what you should look like. And if you don't look like that and you don't fit the beauty standard, then it's selling you products to look like that. It is profiting off your insecurities. And so social media is not real life. Social media is not what you should look like, those Instagrams you should follow. It's also a really good idea to delete social media. Have a couple social media breaks, or if you do want social media, to delete accounts that you compare yourself to so that you're not comparing yourself to them. And be very mindful of who you follow, who you trust, who you listen to. That's the biggest advice that I can give you.
I follow a lot of body positivity accounts purely because they help me to disassociate those negative and irrational thoughts to the ones that are actually true and the ones which are actually true about me. A lot of the time we criticise ourselves about not having the perfect body and maybe not having a flat stomach, not having legs without hip dips, having a small nose, having the perfect shaped ears, and in reality, if we didn't have the things on our face, we wouldn't be who we are and we wouldn't look how we look, which as a result doesn't make us ourselves.
Another thing I like to do if I'm putting myself down or if I'm just not having a good day is kind of working on my strengths and also working on my intelligence, because your intelligence and your personality and stuff way beyond your physical image is more important than your physical image. So what I like to do is I like to read, or I like to develop my creativity, doing stuff that I want to enjoy. And just remember, if you're not going to say it to others,
Don't say it to yourself.
Bye!
Bye.